Welcome back everyone, thank you for joining me for another video right here on Intrepid World. As the title suggested, I'm going to be talking to you all today about dingo safety tips, and I have my dingo ambassador here. This is Jalba. He is a 3-year-old male dingo. He was born in the wild in the Pilbara region of Western Australia, and what I'm going to do today is I'm going to share information with you directly from the Queensland Government Department of Environment, Tourism, Science and Innovation website, and I'm going to elaborate on it a little bit more so you can understand why they are trying to encourage everyone to follow these guidelines. I do have another dingo in my care. His name's Rusty, which you will see a little bit later in this video, but for now I'd like you all to quickly watch my intro reel so you can learn a little bit about me and what I do here on YouTube.
G'day mate, my name is Ollie and I absolutely love the great outdoors. I go scuba diving, hiking and camping, care for 2 rescued dingoes, and travel the world looking for new places to explore and even get to make new friends along the way. If you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe because I would absolutely love for you to join me on my adventures right here on Intrepid World.
Thank you all for watching that intro. So this is Rusty. He is my other dingo ambassador. He's a 5-year-old male dingo that came from the Gascoyne region of Western Australia. So both of my boys participated in a dingo DNA study done by the University of New South Wales, and I sent samples of both of their DNA to the university, and those results came back that they are both 99.99% dingo. 53% of dingoes in Australia are actually ginger and tan like my boys, but dingoes come in a variety of different colors, and I want people all to know this because sometimes a dingo could be black and tan, or it might even be sable and look a little bit like a German Shepherd, or it could be white as well, as you can see in these sample photographs I have for you on this video. It's really important for children to know and understand that dingoes come in different colors, because I would hate for a child to approach a black and tan dingo, for example, thinking it was someone's pet dog and then potentially get bitten by a dingo. So I'm going to start things off by adding my own safety tip. What I just want to encourage everyone to do is not underestimate dingoes. Dingoes are highly intelligent predatory animals. From the moment they wake up to the moment they go to sleep, all they are doing is looking for food and water. The University of Yale in the USA travelled to Victoria and did a cognitive research study on dingoes at the Dingo Discovery Research Centre in Victoria. They discovered that their problem-solving capabilities are off the charts, and in terms of wild canid, they are probably the smartest on the planet, and they outperform a lot of domesticated dogs as well when it comes to problem-solving capabilities. So along with their intelligence, dingoes also have highly adaptable forearms, which allows them to do things that other canid just wouldn't be able to do. So they can reach through holes in a gate, they can lift up a latch, and they can slide open a latch so they can gain access to an area where they're not supposed to be. There's even stories of dingoes climbing up people's ladders to get into their rooftop camper tents and zipping open their tents. And when it comes to food, they're going to try and access it the easiest way possible, because it means that they are burning less energy. They are looking for weaknesses, and they are going to try and test families, and they're going to test people out to see if there is any weaknesses that they think they can exploit. Okay, so what I would like to do now is start going through the list of safety tips that are on the Queensland Government's website, but I've reordered them in a way that groups them together a little more nicely. And I would like to start with the first tip, which is do not run around dingoes. Dingoes have been clocked up to 60 kilometers an hour, and when Usain Bolt broke the Olympic 100-meter world record in 9.58 seconds, he topped out at a speed just shy of 45 kilometers an hour. So not even the great man himself could outrun a dingo. So if you take a look at Rusty here, who is sat quite strangely on this log, he has a very long skinny body. In fact, dingoes' heads are the widest part of their body, and this actually allows them to travel through scrubland like this very, very quickly when they are chasing after prey. So don't run around dingoes. You're never going to outrun them, and you could potentially trigger an unfavorable response. The next couple of tips that I have for you all go together quite nicely. The first one being, always keep your children within arm's reach. We cannot rely on or depend on our children to always remember what to do when potentially faced with an aggressive or angry dingo. So please always keep your children close. Now, tragically, there have been 2 human losses to dingo predation. The first one happened in 1980 in Central Australia, when a dingo gained access to a family's tent and found an infant by itself inside that tent. The second tragic incident happened in 2001 when dingoes attacked and killed a 9-year-old boy on Fraser Island. So please always keep your children close. The next tip I have for you is, please don't ever be alone. Individually, a dingo might not be very intimidating. Take Jalba here, for example. He stands 61 centimeters at the shoulder. He's a fraction taller than Rusty, and he weighs 20 kilos. Now, both of my boys have got access to constant nutrition. Every single day we weigh their food and make sure that they are getting a healthy diet. They also have access to veterinary care if needed. So my boys are a bit heavier than dingoes you might see out in the wild. On average, dingoes in the wild will only weigh about 15 kilos. If they are well fed, then they'll probably end up looking a little bit more like my boys, but generally speaking, they're only about 15 kilos. Now, despite the fact that they are a fairly light canid, dingoes actually are pack animals, and they do work cooperatively together as a pack to take down some formidable prey. They've been known to hunt down and take out 6-foot-tall, 90-kilo red kangaroos, and they've even been known to take out much larger prey. Like on the east coast of Australia, research is showing that dingoes are now starting to hunt deer on a regular basis. They also can take down very large pigs, and they've also been seen in the northern reaches of Australia hunting herds of water buffalo, which are very large and intimidating and imposing prey. So please don't ever be alone. Always travel around together with your family or friends. Some of the best adventures I have had have been visiting national parks with my mates. So for example, early last year, my mates and I hiked the 130-kilometre Cape to Cape track, which travelled through the Cape Naturalist National Park. It was an absolutely amazing time. I had a ball, and I would just highly recommend that you enjoy the great outdoors with family members and friends, especially when you're in dingo country. The next 2 tips also go nicely together. The first one being, always maintain a safe distance. Now, the Queensland government recommends a minimum safe distance of 4 car lengths, or approximately 20 metres. You should consider that area your own personal protective space, your own protective personal bubble, and dingoes shouldn't be allowed to come any closer to you than 20 metres, and you shouldn't approach them any closer than 20 metres. Now, this leads very nicely into the next tip. Always carry a dingo stick with you. Now, this could potentially be something like this. Okay, so this is just a hiking pole. Obviously, I can extend this and make it a lot longer, so you could use a hiking pole. You can already see the effect that's having on Rusty. Rusty's been living with me for 3 years now, but they are very sensitive to their environment, and he doesn't like that. Come back here, bud. You're okay. Good boy. Let me get rid of that for you. Okay, now that I've got rid of that hiking pole, you can see he's a lot more relaxed. Dingoes are very sensitive to changes in their environment, and when Rusty saw that hiking pole for the first time, he naturally backed away because he didn't know what it was. Now, the reason why dingoes are like this is because they've got very strong flight or fight instincts, and they cannot risk being injured out in the wild. If they're injured, they can't keep up with their pack. If they can't keep up with their pack, they can't hunt, and they could potentially get sick and maybe even starve. So they've got very strong self-preservation instincts, and that is why dingo sticks are highly effective. So always carry around with you a hiking pole, an umbrella, a stick that you might find on the ground, or the Butchulla people that are native to Fraser Island. They refer to Fraser Island as Gari. They have carved these beautiful dingo sticks which you can purchase from them, and they've got intricate carvings on them and also like indigenous artworks as well. So if you're looking for some memorabilia to take home with you from Fraser Island, please buy a dingo stick from the Butchulla people on Gari. It is also important for adults to understand they need to be careful around dingoes as well. As we've already established, they can hunt in packs and take down some pretty formidable prey, and there have been multiple attacks on adults as well. So I'll put some links in the description down below to a few different stories you can read for yourself and find out what happened in those different scenarios. We are now entering the final stages of this video. I have 3 tips left to share with you, and they are all relating to food. Please do not feed dingoes. You shouldn't feed any wild animals. We want them to do what they do naturally out in the wild. I've traveled extensively around the world, hiked in many beautiful national parks across America, Japan, Australia, Europe, and they all have the same advice, and that is please do not feed the wild animals. I know, like when you go to America, you see all these cute little chipmunks running around, but please don't feed them, and please don't feed dingoes. We don't want animals learning bad habits. And what could potentially happen is if someone feeds a dingo, and if dingoes become accustomed to people feeding them, and then they go to a family that's doing the right thing and not feeding them, they could potentially become annoyed and aggressive and angry at not getting any food out of people. So we don't want wild animals seeing people as a potential food source or a potential way of accessing a free and easy meal. They need to be out in the wild maintaining the ecosystem. Dingoes are a very important part to the habitat on Fraser Island and across our beautiful country. They are the top order land-based predator here in Australia. We do have saltwater crocodiles, which are much larger obviously, but they tend to stay around our rivers and estuaries. These guys take care of what top order apex predators do across the rest of the continent, okay? And that is controlling herbivores. I know you want to go for a quick run. If herbivores are left unchecked and uncontrolled, they could potentially overgraze a particular area, which destroys habitat for other animals that might rely on vegetation for cover from other predators like foxes and cats, or even nesting areas as well. So please don't feed dingoes, please don't feed wild animals and teach them bad habits. For this next dingo safety tip, I have gone and grabbed some roast chicken from my kitchen. It's in this little container in front of me right now. You can see Jalba is in the down position waiting to get a treat. And this is a very timely reminder that the dingoes you're seeing in this video are not like the dingoes you're going to encounter in the wild. Yes, both of my boys were born in the wild, but they got taken from the bush when they were very small puppies by people. Some with bad intentions, others had good intentions, as in Jalba's case. You can see he has a missing tail. He was very sick and he was found emaciated on the side of the road, so some people took him to a vet and then he ended up in human care. So both of my boys have been living with people for the last 3 or 4 years, and they have been going through some domestication, and they are very difficult to train. I have to have them on leads all the time. If these leads weren't on them right now, they'd be off in the bush chasing after kangaroos and emus if they were given half the chance. So yes, they have been going through some treat training, and it's very important to just understand their behaviours are different. So when you're on Gari, there are some lakes like Burungura and other lakes on the island. You are not allowed to have picnics on the lake shores anywhere on Gari, and these tips are going to be transferable to other national parks as well, especially when dingoes are present. So please don't have picnics anywhere near the lake shores on Gari, and be mindful as well that if you break that rule, there are fines associated with it. The very last tip that I have for you all is please dispose of your food scraps correctly. There's a couple of ways you can do this. For example, if you're a fisherman and you have fish scraps with you, you need to bury those at least a foot underground, and try do this when dingoes are not watching. Dingoes have a very acute sense of smell. Take people for example. We have 5 million scent receptors in our nose, but dingoes have 200 million scent receptors in their nose, which puts them on par with German Shepherds. Now, we all know German Shepherds are used in the military and in law enforcement to help people with their line of work. German Shepherds have been used to track down criminals that have gone to ground and might be hiding in areas that are not very easily accessible. And they are also used as like detection dogs to try find illegal firearms and things like that that could be hidden in a warehouse. In the military, they're used as bomb detection dogs as well. So these animals have very strong, very acute senses of smell, okay? If you're in a campground on Fraser Island, they do have bins provided that you can put your food scraps into. And if you have any food that you haven't eaten yet, please store that inside your vehicle. So as I already established at the start of this video, dingoes are very intelligent, they have great problem solving skills, and they are very agile and flexible animals that can climb ladders and gain access to rooftop tents, etc. So your food items are not going to be safe inside your tent or on your rooftop tent either. You must store them inside your vehicle. Okay, another thing you can do to keep your food secure is grab yourself a container like this one. As you can see, it's got these latches on the front. You can undo the latches, open it up, store your food inside, and then close the latches, put a lock through it and secure your food. No dingo will be able to get through a locker. At least I haven't seen them picking locks yet. Okay, so I hope my dingoes, my dingo ambassadors here, and I have helped shed some light on why the Queensland government is recommending you follow these safety strategies when you are visiting Fraser Island. And if you would like to know more about my dingoes, please visit my Instagram. I have 2 stories pinned to the top of my Instagram profile, one about Rusty and one about Jalba and how they came to be in my care. And until next time, I hope you all enjoy life, have a great time, go have an adventure. See ya.